This is a quick project, a cute little bandana to show you how to add popcorns to the corner to corner and filet crochet hybrid technique. So let's get started. For this project, I'm going to be using the Paint Box Cotton DK and a 3mm crochet hook. Okay, looking at the chart, we're going to start here with this first block and then work our way out. When you see the X's on the chart, that is where we're going to add the popcorns. So we're going to start with the first block. We're going to chain 7. And then double crochet in the 5th chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then also in the next 2 chain. Okay, so that's my first block. So for the next row, we have a beginning block and an end block. So we're gonna, for the beginning block, we're gonna chain 6. Okay, and we're gonna turn so we can work the other way on the row. We're gonna work a double crochet in the 5th and the 6th chains from the hook. I like to work on the back side of the chain since we're going back the other way. So there's the 5th chain and the 6th chain. Then we're going to skip this double crochet, the next 2 stitches, and slip stitch in the next chain. So that's the beginning block. For the end block, we're going to chain 3, 2 double crochet in this chain space, and then we're going to double crochet in the 3rd chain. So it's these double crochet are worked in 2, and then the 3rd one is just above it. And that's my end block. Okay, for row 3, we have a beginning block, an open space, and an end block. And this chart is symmetrical, so you can read it either direction, but if you had a design that was not symmetrical, you'd want to read, for odd rows, you want to read this way, and for even rows, you'd want to read this way. So I have my beginning block, an open space, and an end block. So I'm going to chain 6. Let's turn it. I'm going to double crochet in the 5th and the 6th chains. Skip this double crochet in the next 2 stitches, slip stitch in the next chain. Open space is chain 5. Skip the chain space, slip stitch in the next 2 stitches, slip stitch in the next chain. And then we have the end block, which is chain 3, 2 double crochet in the chain space, and then double crochet in that 3rd chain up. So there's 1, 2, 3. Okay, for row 4, we have a beginning block, 2 open spaces, and an end block. So we're going to chain 6. I'm going to turn and work in the 5th and 6th chains. skip the double crochet in the next 2 stitches, slip stitch in the next chain. Then we have 2 open spaces, so chain 5, skip the chain space, slip stitch in the next 2 stitches, slip stitch in the next chain. Chain 5, skip the chain space, slip stitch in the next 2 stitches, slip stitch in the next chain. And then we're going to work an end block again. So chain 3, 2 double crochet in the chain space, and then double crochet in that 3rd chain up. Oops. So that's row 4. For row 5, we have a beginning block, an open space, a block, an open space, and an end block. So we're going to chain 6, we're going to turn and work in the 5th and the 6th chains with a double crochet, skip the double crochet in the next 2 stitches, slip stitch in the next chain. Here we go, open space, then we're going to work a block, so that's chain 3, 2 double crochet in the chain space, skip the slip stitch in the next 2 stitches, slip stitch in the next chain. Then we have an open space, and the end block. So chain 3, 2 double crochet, and double crochet in that 3rd chain up. There's row 5. For row 6, we have a beginning block, an open space, 2 blocks, an open space, and an end block. So chain 6, and turn and work in those 5th and 6th chains. So those are my 2 double crochet, and then we're going to do our slip stitch. We have open space, so there's my 5 chain. Then we're going to work 2 blocks, so that's chain 3, 2 double crochet in the chain space, skip the slip stitch in the next 2 stitches, slip stitch in the next chain, another block, so there's my 2 double crochet in the chain space, skip the slip stitch in the next 2 stitches, slip stitch in the next chain. Then we have an open space, it's my 5 chain, and the end block. There's row 6. Okay, for row 7, we have a beginning block, an open space, a block, a popcorn, a block, an open space, and an end block. Okay, so we're going to chain 6, I'm going to turn and work in the 5th and the 6th chains with our double crochet. And my slip stitch. Now we have the open space, so that's chain 5. Then we have a block, so we're going to chain 3. Two double crochet in that chain space, skip the slip stitch the next 2 stitches, slip stitch in the next chain. Okay, for the popcorn, we're going to chain 4, then we're going to work 5 double crochet into this chain space. And then we're going to drop the loop from the hook. You're going to put your hook in this space right here from front to back, pick up that drop loop and pull it through. And then you're going to chain 1. So as you look at this stitch, it has the same components as the other. So for the chain space, for the open space, we have this chain 3, and then we have 2 stitches and a slip stitch. For the block, we have a chain 3, 2 double crochet, and a slip stitch. For the popcorn, we did 4 chains. So we have chain 3 plus 1 chain, and then the last chain we did makes two. So they had 3 plus 2, and then we're gonna slip stitch the same as we have for the other stitches. So it works the same as all of the stitches. So we have another block. That was chain 3, 2 double crochet, and slip stitch. Then we have an open space, and an end block. And there's row 7. For row 8, we have a beginning block, an open space. We have 4 blocks, an open space, and an end block. So we're going to chain 6. I'm going to turn and double crochet in the 5th and 6th chains. We have an open space, and then 4 blocks, skip those 2 stitches, slip stitch in the next chain, another block, so when you're working next to the popcorn, it's probably easier to count backwards to the 3rd chain this way to get to do the slip stitch. Another block, and 1 more. Open space, and an end block. Okay, there's row 8. For row 9, we have a beginning block, an open space, a block, popcorn, block, popcorn, block, open space, and end block. So we're going to start with our chain 6. I'm going to work in those 5th and 6th chains. Oops. And do our slip stitch. We have an open space next. And then a block, so that's chain 3, 2 double crochet, and our slip stitch. Now we have a popcorn, so that's chain 4, 5 double crochet into the chain space, we're going to drop the loop. We're going to insert our hook in this chain space here, pick up that drop loop and pull through and chain 1. Then skip the slip stitch in next 2 stitches, slip stitch in that next chain. Now we have a block. Another popcorn, so chain 4, 5 double crochet in the chain space, drop the loop from the hook, insert the hook in this chain space, pick up the drop loop and pull it through, chain 1, skip the slip stitch in the next 2 stitches, and slip stitch in the next chain. Now we have another block. An open space, and our end block. So there's row 9. Row 10, we have a beginning block, an open space, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks, an open space, and an end block. So we're going to chain 6, work our double crochets in those 5th and 6th chains, and our slip stitch. So we have an open space, we have 6 blocks. There's 1, so next to the popcorn we'll count backwards to get to the 3rd chain there. another block, this is one next to a popcorn again. I have two more. So there's 6. Have an open space, and the end block. So that's row 10. For row 11, we have a beginning block, an open space, block, popcorn, 3 blocks, popcorn, a block, an open space, and an end block. So we're going to chain 6, double crochet in the 5th and the 6th chains, slip stitch, do an open space, a block, okay, then we're going to do a popcorn, so chain 4, 5 double crochet in the chain space, insert your hook in that chain 4 space, pick up the loop and pull it through, chain 1, skip the slip stitch in the next 2 stitches, slip stitch in the next chain. Now we have 3 blocks. Okay, now we have another popcorn. So chain 4, 5 double crochet in the chain space, drop the loop, insert through that chain space, pick up the loop and pull it through, chain 1, and slip stitch. Now we have another block, an open space, and our end block. So that's row 11. For row 12, we have a beginning block, an open space, eight blocks, an open space, and an end block. Okay, there's my beginning block. My open space. Then I'm going to work 8 blocks. So there's 8 blocks. Open space. And my end block. So that's row 12. Now for row 13 and 14, I'm going to explain how the repeat works, because you'll keep repeating 13 and 14 until you make the bandana as long as you want. So as you look at your piece, you have peaks and valleys all along the row. So what we're going to do is a beginning block, an open space, a block, popcorn. Then we're going to work blocks across until we have 3 valleys left. So it'll be these 3 valleys. We're going to work up to this point. Okay, so let's put a stitch marker in that spot so that we can keep track of where we're going. So we're going to chain 6. Then we're going to double crochet in the 5th and the 6th chains. Slip stitch. Okay, then we're going to work an open space. And then a block. Popcorn, my 4 chain, do 5 double crochet, chain 1, and our slip stitch. So now we're going to work our blocks all the way across here. Okay, so I have one last one to do. Okay, now we're going to do a popcorn, a block, an open space, and an end block. So a popcorn is chain 4, 5 double crochet, pick up our loop, chain 1, and slip stitch. Then we have our block, an open space, and our end block. Okay, so for row 14, we're going to do beginning block and open space, and then we're going to work blocks all the way across until we have one more valley. Okay, for row 14, we're going to work all the way across to that last valley. So right here, it matches up to this one right here. So we're going to chain 6, work our 2 double crochet, then we're going to work an open space, and blocks all the way across till we get to this point. Okay, this is my last one. So we're going to finish with one more open space and an end block. Here's my open space and my end block. Okay, so you're going to keep repeating these last 2 rows, 13 and 14, until this is as wide as you want it to fit your head. And then I'll meet you back and we will add the top border and the ties. So I've completed row 13 and 14 enough times so that I have it the width that I want. For mine, I have 9 popcorns up the side. So we want to be starting on the right side with the popcorns facing up. And we're gonna start in this last double crochet that we made on the last row. So first we need to make the tie. So I have my slip knot. I'm gonna do 45 chain, or about 10 inches, or however long you want to make it for your tie. So I'm going to do 45 chain. Okay, so that's 45. So we are going to start, we're going to join with a double crochet into that last double crochet that we made on the row 14 repeat. So with my yarn over, I'm going to insert my hook, put your finger on it so that you don't lose that loop. I'm going to pick up a loop, yarn over and go through 2, yarn over and go through 2. So I've joined with a double crochet. So now I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to single crochet over that double crochet we just made, like I'm working in a chain space. So there's my single crochet. And then I'm going to chain 3. I'm going to single crochet in the center of this single crochet, so we're going to go down through those 2 loops like that. So that makes a picot. And then I'm going to work a half double crochet over that same double crochet. And then we're going to skip the next 2 double crochet and slip stitch in the next chain. Okay, now we're working in the next valley here, and this is going to be repeated all the way across. So chain 1, single crochet in the chain space, chain 3, I'm going to single crochet in the center of that single crochet, half double crochet in that same chain space. Then we're going to skip the next the slip stitch and the next 2 stitches, and then slip stitch in the next chain. Okay, chain 1, single crochet in the chain space, chain 3, single crochet in that center of the single crochet to make the picot, half double crochet, skip the slip stitch in the next 2 stitches, slip stitch in the next chain. Chain 1, single crochet, chain 3, single crochet in the center to make the picot, half double crochet, skip the slip stitch in the next 2 stitches, slip stitch in the next chain. Chain 1, single crochet, chain 3, single crochet, half double crochet, and slip stitch. So you're going to keep repeating that all the way across until you get to this last peak. So I will meet you back at this point. Okay, I've made it to my last peak, so I'm going to do my chain 1, single crochet in the chain space, chain 3, single crochet in the center of that single crochet to make my picot, half double crochet, and then we're going to do the last double crochet in that 3rd chain up. Okay, and now we need to make our tie to match the other side, so I did 45, so I'm going to chain 45. Okay, that's 45. I'm going to fasten off and make sure you tighten that really well, and then you can just trim off the ends. Trim off the end on the other tie. And now it's ready to wear. So I hope you had fun adding popcorns to your corner to corner and filet hybrid, and thanks for watching.